Comes up all the time, even without a picture.
I lost the image then.
Okay. So, welcome everybody to our weekly town hall meeting. We're very happy to have you here today. And we have a special guest today, Leslie McLean, who is a longtime Sangha member and student of Lama Surya Das. And she will be giving us a little Dana talk today. So Leslie, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Greetings, everyone. We made it. Sunday Sangha. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. So Padmasambhava taught, don't mistake mere words to be the meaning of the teachings. Mingle the practice with your own being and doing, being and practice, wisdom and compassion, mingled. Mingling wisdom, the wisdom of seeing and being, how it is right now, fresh each moment. With compassion, compassionate action exemplified in the virtues of the Bodhisattva, the awakened spiritual peacemaker. The first quality or virtue characterizing the Bodhisattva's compassionate activity is generosity, dana in Sanskrit. Generosity, why would that be first? Why is that number one? Interconnectedness, innate responsive compassion, wisdom in action. Notice how generosity works. Perhaps you have. Notice how it is when you give a gift. What goes on with you when you give a gift? A gift of your time, your energy, your practice, your support. How is it when you give a gift? In my practice, I start by practicing with gratitude. And here are my big three. In my practice, number one, gratitude to Lama Surya for his lifelong dedication to study and practice of the Buddha Dharma. In the 1970s, he traveled east right after college to discover from the great masters themselves the teachings of this, our practice lineage. And furthermore, gratitude that he came back here, home, here now in our midst to teach us, nudging us, guiding us along the way so we can see for ourselves. That's my first gratitude in my big list of three. The second is gratitude for the Dharma, that which upholds, the living Dharma, not a dead Dharma, the living Dharma, ever present, ever arising, breath, energy, a gift of the heart. Imagine that. And three, for me, gratitude for the Sangha, our community of spiritual friends, our helpmates along the way that help us sand off our rough edges. You, gratitude to you, our Sunday Sangha. Thank you for your practice, for turning toward the light. It matters. In the practice of generosity and gratitude, we consider making donations. In this case, a donation of appreciation for Lama Surya Das and the precious teachings of our practice lineage. A donation supporting our Dzogchen Center team that keeps us up and operating and connected. So fortunate we are. A gift of donation, a donation of your time in sustaining our practice together as a Dzogchen Center Sangha, a beloved community. So this can be done by making a one-time or ongoing donation to the Dzogchen Center Foundation, by becoming a member of our Dzogchen Center Sangha, and by giving the gift of practice, your practice, by joining with us for our day-long retreat next Saturday or our summer retreat in July. The day-long retreat next Saturday, Awakening Together, Awareness and Alignment, offers us 2 opportunities for group meditation, our refuge practice together, and 2 teaching sessions with Lama Surya. It runs from 9 to 4 Eastern Time with breaks in between. So I hope you can join us. You can find tabs on our website, dzogchen.org, a Connect tab for membership, a Retreat tab for signing up for retreats, and a Donate tab for making a donation. Thank you for your practice. It matters. I'd like to end with a little dedication from the generosity chapter in Buddha Is as Buddha Does. Perhaps you're familiar with it. It's about the Bodhisattva's 10 transcendental virtues. Chapter 1, generosity, and the prayer written by Lama Surya Das. For you. May I perfect the sublime virtue of generosity, which liberates and releases craving, grasping, and attachment, and brings joyous contentment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leslie McLean of Wisconsin, longtime friend, Dharma student, advisor to the Dzogchen Center. And just personally speaking, she helps me a lot with my gathering my writings and articles and things, putting them out in the world. Yes, the 10 transformative practices of the Bodhisattva, so important. Thank you for your sharing, Leslie. It's a beautiful day, everybody. It's Sunday. I'm here in Connecticut at my niece's house. It's pouring rain, or pissing rain, as my British friends say. Many of my British friends I met in India in the 70s and 80s. Some of them, we were in 3-year retreats together in monasteries and ashrams. So beautiful. Good times. So it's a beautiful spring day here. Everything is green, as well as orange. There's a painting by my niece that's behind me on the wall, an architect and oil painter, Allison Rose. It's a beautiful day to get together, don't you think? As Leslie has set the tone so beautifully. And every day is a good day to get together, to get ourselves together, to get together with others, to be aligned, to be in tune, to tune in rather than tune out. I'm going to talk about that next weekend. Alignment, centering, coming home to ourselves, not just going with the flow, but being the flow, flowing, how to do it, the practices of presencing, of awareing, of stepping up and stepping out from our meditation cushion, integrating in life, dancing with life, and so on. which is so important today. So many of us, if we're fortunate, if we're on this Zoom Sangha meeting together, probably we have some meditation, yoga, prayer, chant, some explicit spiritual practice. Excuse me, I have to check these texts because this is how I get messages from the people that are producing this. Good. So the sound and everything is fine. You already have your practice, I'm sure. And yet, how do we get off the meditation seat, leave the yoga class or the yoga session, come out of the house of worship on whatever day it is, let's say Saturday or Sunday, the Sabbaths in the Western world, and how do we bring it into life, carry it forth with us, and spread the light, be the light, shine the light, embody the light, whatever you call it. That's the challenge. It's not easy after all these years of meditating myself still. There seems to be some dichotomy between explicit spiritual practice, let's call it inner work, for lack of a better all-encompassing term, and outer engagement with others, engagement with the world, living the bodhisattva life, the way of the awakener, the spiritual hero, the bodhisattva, the altruistic compassionator, the Buddha to be, the bodhisattva, the spiritual leader, the helpmate, the healer, the harmonizer, the peacemaker. Shantideva, the peace master, his name, literally, 1,000 years ago wrote How to Be a Bodhisattva, the Bodhicharyavatara. I recommend the book to you. There are various titles for the translations. Let me recommend the translation by the Padmakara Translating Committee, The Way of the Bodhisattva, or whatever it's called. Anyway, this is a very classic Mahayana Buddhist text and gives us the Bodhisattva code, the 10 Panacean virtues, the paramitas, the transformative practices, sometimes weakly translated as the 10 perfections, 6 perfections. You can read about this in my book, Buddha's as Buddha Does, the 10 transformative practices for enlightened living that Leslie mentioned. Anyway, generosity, interestingly, is the first, even before morality, ethics, before mindfulness, meditation, before patience, before enthusiastic effort, before resourcefulness and skillful means and methods, etc. Because generosity is the key in spiritual life. Loving unstintingly, giving of oneself, not just of material things. Letting go, letting things come and go, letting be, great acceptance. Non-attachment is the ultimate form of generosity. That's why it can be a Panacean virtue, leading us all the way, not just a good karma human act, like donating to get a tax write-off or our name on a building when we're gone, which are mixed motivations, good as such contributions can be. Giving without expectation of return, however, is dana paramita, the transformative virtue of generosity. Giving without expectation of return, loving without, not transactionally, not expecting something back, and so on. So this is a very profound subject. And each of the paramitas, the 10 Buddhist cardinal virtues, the paramitas in Sanskrit, the paramis in Pali, the 6 paramitas, the 10 paramitas, I mean, who's counting? All the way from generosity and ethical self-discipline up to mindfulness, wisdom, unconditional love, and so on, pure intentions. Each of these and all these are Panacean virtues that can carry us all the way. So bringing them into daily life is important, but how remains the question. I think that's worth looking into introspectively ourselves. What's keeping us from giving without expectation, from making everything transactional in life? And I don't want to explain all this, we're speaking in English so we can know about these things ourselves. But it's so important to be open and sharing. The whole message of the Bhagavad Gita is to do what needs to be done and let Go. Do your duty. Do what needs to be done. And let go and let God, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, more or less. The most translated book in the world after the Bible. That's the whole message. You don't have to read the whole book. Practice giving a little without transactionally expecting to get something in return. As the best of parenting, even when the children may be ungrateful, we have the bigger picture. We keep being there and giving and lending a shoulder, lending an ear, giving our time and ourselves. Caritas, Christian giving, charity, caritas. Self-giving, caritas. Not just giving $1 to a panhandler to move them out of your way on the sidewalk. Self-giving. It's a challenge. But what keeps us from it, friends? Fear of scarcity or lack? Attachment to self? Separatism? Selfishness? Partisanship? Thinking of ours more than others'? How to be more inclusive? It's such a challenge today in our partisan, uncertain, agitated times. How to move from me to we? It's a challenge. That's why we do practices, like in the Dzogchen tradition, cutting through, seeing through, being through, which is Trekchud in Tibetan. Seeing through separateness, seeing through the illusion of separateness and duality. Cutting through attachments. Seeing through, just being through and through, being through it all. When I meditate, I realize that everything is desire. When I'm meditating, and this is after many decades, so don't be over idealistic. It's not that simple, but it's not that easy. I mean, when I'm meditating, everything is complete and whole. No desire, nothing missing, nothing lacking, and nothing extra needed. But then when I get up off the meditation cushion, what happens? Back in the realm of desire again, of wanting and diswanting, attraction and aversion, as we call it in Buddhism, the basic kleshas or obscurations, afflictive emotions, obscurations, kleshas, attachment and aversion, attraction, aversion, based on the illusion of duality or separateness, believing in what we think, which could be a big mistake. And I want to emphasize that. You can't just believe whatever you read, especially these days. But moreover, and this is a timeless truth, you can't just believe whatever you think. Is it really true? As Byron Katie asks, how do we know it's true? How would we be if we found that it wasn't true? We can shake the tree of truth. Whatever falls off, whatever breaks off, it ain't the immutable reality that we can count on, that we can find refuge in, that we can stand in, that we seek. By whatever name, it's sweet, even more sweet than any words can convey. I want to emphasize this. We're all looking for a simple formula. We may be thinking there's a pill or an experience that's going to solve all our problems, which is a questionable assumption, but we can seek that, sure. Letting go of our thought forms, our concepts, is vastly freeing and liberating. As soon as I think, oh, I'm bored, if I buy into that thought, it's very tiresome. But if I'm a little more interested in that, like, oh, is that true? Things fall apart. Or it's a bad, nasty day today. It's cold and rainy here in Memorial Day at the end of May in New England. That's fine thought, but it's so conditioned. It's a beautiful day for the growth of all the green things. And it's a great day to stay home and watch the NBA playoffs or play with the kids, as I've been doing here at my niece's and nephew's house in Connecticut. Life is so rich and full of miracles. Every moment is a miracle, is a miracle. American Buddhas, throw off your chains, your concepts, your self-limitations. Open your beautiful eyes, blue as an orange, the sky. I want to emphasize this, not believing in whatever you think. We can go into this more another time. It's simple and freeing, perhaps not so easy. So let's begin our practice. Breathing, relaxing, smiling, seeing through thoughts, feelings, moods, all momentary, impermanent, fleeting, ownerless phenomena and noumena or mind stuff. Letting go of all dreamlike, impermanent, momentary appearances. As Buddha says, you can read about this in the Diamond Sutra. This world is like a dream, a fantasy, a mirage, echoes, rainbows. I'll add, like a sitcom, like a movie. Imaho, enjoy it. Don't overinvest in it. Imaho, invest in what you can count on, find refuge in what's reliable. Seekers, let's become finders. Please, I exhort you and each of us, including myself. As poet Rumi, the great Sufi poet of the Middle East, sang long ago, my whole life I've been knocking on the door of the beloved, meaning the Lord. I've been knocking on the door only to find out I've been knocking all along from inside. That's why we say, and let's not make this too simple-minded, simplistic or one-sided, everything we seek is within. Look deeper, not just within me, within you, within everything. Every moment, every encounter is it. Meaningful, rich, mysterious, inconceivable, miraculous. It's a miracle. Imaho. As my late great Dzogchen master said, Dudjom Rinpoche, Kyabje Dudjom Rinpoche, poet, visionary, love master. Even if you don't get fully enlightened in this lifetime, you'll get excited, you'll get liftoff. We don't all have to do it in this lifetime, let me reassure you. So breathing, relaxing, smiling. We're almost done. What else do we need? Intention and attention include everything. Pay attention, friends, it pays off. Just sitting, natural body is Buddha body, Nirmanakaya, perfect embodiment. Thank you. Just breathing, natural breath and energy is Buddha's breath and energy. Let go and let Buddha do it through you. Sambhogakaya, natural flow, let it go. Thank you. And third pillar of natural meditation, Dzogchen meditation, just being present with a capital P, present, presencing, aware, awareing, mindful rather than mindlessly, heedlessly, sleepwalking through life, having all kinds of so-called accidents. Again, natural body, natural breath and energy, natural heart, mind, the three naturals, the pillars of natural meditation, Dzogchen meditation, very similar to Shikantaza, Zen sitting, Zazen, just sitting, just breathing, just being. Assume your Buddha seat. Why not? Who do you think you're not? If you think you're the worst, that's just inverse egotism. Same problem. Notice, investigate, penetrate, recognize, release. 5 steps to the inherent freedom and completeness of being. This breath, only breath, this moment as if only moment. Imaho. Letting go of the past, which is dead and gone, letting go of the future, which has not yet come, letting go in the present, riding the crest of the wave of nowness, this moment, only moment, first breath, best breath, Imaho. Wondrous, miraculous, yes. Letting go means letting come and go, letting be, aware of awareness itself, and enjoy the joy of presencing, of natural meditation, Buddha's meditation. Pure being, incandescent present, luminous, scentless openness, Imaho. How sweet it is. Ah, breathing out, emptying myself, the less of me, the more room for thee. Imaho. Ha ha, he he, hoo hoo. Imaho. The shortest Dzogchen teaching. Breathing in, calming, clearing the heart and mind. Breathing out with the aha, relaxing, letting go, letting be, smiling. The Wizard of Oz. Eyes open, nose open, mouth open, go a little gaga, like lose your reference points, ears open, throat open, heart open, diaphragm open, relax, anus open, heart and mind open, decontracted, relaxed, inclusive, friendly, welcoming. One of the facets of mindfulness is friendliness, openness. Friendly to whatever appears in this dreamlike sitcom. And when we get going, engaged in life, trying to make it a better dream than a nightmare. Every thought, word, and deed matters. Has karmic implications through causation, interconnectedness. Awareness is curative. Nowness, awareness. Incandescent presence is the ultimate therapy. Check it out. Free from past and future conditioning. Ride the cresting wave of nowness. The crown of creation, the apex of evolution. The divine arc. Imaho. How sweet it is. All complete, all good. Kantazampo. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mantra number 3, the mantra of unconditional love and compassion, Chenrezi. Om Mani Padme Hum. Avalokiteshvara. Om Mani Padme Hum. Kuan Yin. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Dalai Lama's mantra of compassion and love. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 The 6-syllable mantra of Tibet. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Buddha's heart mantra, the Bodhicitta mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Hope you feel like chanting along. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 6 syllables, each one clearing up one of the 6 realms of existence, of worldliness, of suffering, confusion. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Buddha diving into each of those realms. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Like the white Hamsa geese diving into the lotus lakes in India. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. 6 syllables, 6 realms of suffering and resistance, samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. 6 syllables, seed syllables like suns, like sunbursts. Awareness is curative. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Clearing up all the schmutz and caca on our windshields. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. When we become clearer, everything becomes clearer. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 So Dev So Lama Chenrezi. So Dev So Yidam Chenrezi. So Dev So Pakcho Chenrezi. So Dev So Sanjay Chenrezi. Praying to the Buddha of love and compassion as the Guru, as the Dharma, as the Sangha jewel, as the most invaluable refuge, as the liberator, as the spiritual catalyst, as the pearl beyond price. So Dev So Lama Chenrezi. Bless us, empower us, heal us, hear us, heed our cry. So Dev So Yidam Chenrezi. Awaken the inner divinity. Chenrezi Om So Dev So Pacho Chen Rezi, most invaluable, indispensable pearl beyond price. So Deso Sanjay Chen Rezi, awakened enlightenment within each and all of us, our Buddha nature. So Deso Daka Dakini Chen Rezi. So Desoy Gampo, protector, guardian Chen Rezi. So Desoy Avaloki Teshvari, who watches over the world. So Desoy Kuan Yin Chen Rezi, mother goddess of all. So Desoy Kyabje Chen Rezi, Lord of Refuge, a safe port in the storm of worldly confusion and delusion. So Deso Lama Chen Rezi. So Deso Dharma Chen Rezi. So Deso Sangamates Chen Rezi. We need each other to fulfill the promise of the spiritual journey. No one can do it alone. No one's exempt from participating. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected, and who want and need the same as we do, be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace and harmony and happiness in this world, and an end to war, violence, injustice, poverty, oppression, natural disasters, corruption, complacence. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. Homage to the Buddha, the light, the divine in your seat. Don't overlook them. Imaho. Joy to the world. How sweet it is. The joy of meditation. Oh yeah. The joy of being free, at ease, at home, aligned, one. Oh, I see a question here about why Buddhists don't talk about love so much. We hear about metta, loving kindness. We hear about wisdom and compassion. What about love? Well, that's a good question. Of course, loving kindness is not that different from love, but it's a little different, maybe. Anyway, in the Vajrayana Tantric Diamond Path, we say there are 4 faces or aspects of Buddhist love, embodied or represented iconographically. That means pictured as the 4 arms of Avalokita of Chenrezi, the great bodhisattva of love and compassion. The 4 arms representing compassion, loving kindness, joy, and equanimity or impartiality, means equal to all. How can it be pure unconditional love if it's not equal to all, if it's only to those who stroke you or like you in return? And so on. So the 4 facets of Buddhist love: loving kindness, joy, loving kindness, equanimity, rejoicing in the success or virtues of others, and 4th, equality, equanimity, upekkha, equal to all. Very important. That's where the love is in the Buddhist teachings, in loving kindness. In the 4, it's called the 4 Brahma Viharas, the 4 divine abodes, how the gods roll, the Brahma Viharas. I call it the 4 heartitudes: Karuna, Maitri or Metta, Mudita, and Upekkha. Mudita, the orphaned one of the 4 boundless. Mudita, best translation would be quelling. a Yiddish word. It means rejoicing, being proud of, rejoicing, getting fulfillment from others' successes and virtues and accomplishments. It's the antidote to jealousy and covetousness. Mudita, the orphaned Brahma Vihara, we don't hear much about it because it's hard to translate. Translated as sympathetic joy. It's a great practice, especially in the land of envy, covetousness, jealousy, and need I say selfishness and grasping. In Buddhist cosmology or mythology or history, however you want to call it, we say that there were 1,000 Buddhas in this sasana, this kind of ageless aeon, this dimension of time and space. And Sakyamuni Buddha, this Buddha we know, the historical Gautama Buddha of India, the teacher 2,600 years ago, is the fourth. The fifth one is called Jampa Maitreya, which means metta, but it means Jampa in Tibetan means gentle love. So love, loving kindness, metta, and so on are bound up. Questions? Did I see something there, Ben? Did I see something flashing on the screen? It's a little hard for me to see the chat and
here
everything.
We go.
So everyone's here.
Here we have one Lama. Dominique says, "Hi Lama, I am going through some big changes this summer, moving to a new city. I intellectually understand impermanence and non-attachment, but how do you recommend dealing with the roller coaster of feelings?"
Well, comes to mind a picture, a cover of Tricycle magazine, the Buddhist magazine published in New York, recommendable. Tricycle, you can probably find it online, this cover, showing there are two different ways to go through life, the roller coaster of life, what you called emotions. Half the people on the roller coaster are like this, and the other people are like this. So if you see it as a roller coaster, it kind of lightens it up a little bit. You get some outside perspective. Like we go on the roller coaster for fun, knowing it's going to scare the crap out of us. That's part of the fun, as long as we feel it's safe enough and solid mentally, and and our stomachs aren't full and liable to regurgitate or anything. I mean, look before you leap, as they say. Ready, aim, fire applies to intentions and actions, not just the shooting range. So how we deal with the emotions makes all the difference. And since you've said you feel like it's a roller coaster ride, you can take it a little more lightly and be mindful or aware of those feelings and not be totally blindsided or surprised by them. Of course, feeling is natural and important and organic and healthy and part of life. We're supposed to feel, but how we respond to it, react to it, makes all the difference. Are we sad when we have some loss, or do we give into despair and fall into depression, which is a pathology? Not sadness is just a mood or a feeling. So happy and sad is emotional vacillation, which is fine. But how do we react to it? Do we get stuck in it? Do we indulge in it? Do we have emotional maturity or self-knowledge or wisdom to deal with the ups and downs of life? What did Shakespeare call it? The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. So moving is a big deal. I don't have any details from you, so we're not going to go into all that, but in general, moving is a big deal. Like other important passages of life, changing a job, getting married, having a baby, whatever. They may not all be exactly the same, but you know what I'm saying. Moving can be a big deal. I don't know why you're moving, how far you're moving, how hard it is or easy. These are the COVID days, so it may be a little complicated. I don't know. But give yourself some slack. Moving is a big deal. Change is difficult for most of us because of our attachments, our grasping, our need for security, which is fine. I mean, we all want to get out of our ruts, but how and when, etc. And how are we going to do it and face the unknown? So there are different ways to deal with these things, take some with you, or preparation, or don't go alone, take support of others, make some connections wherever you're going. I don't know, I'm not your life coach. I'm sure you have plenty of advisors and friends who can help you deal with it. But generally, dealing with the emotions, it's very important to bring awareness to them and to realize it's not what happens to us, but what we make of it that makes all the difference. So change often feels like insecure, anxious, anxiety-provoking, maybe even loss. If you're moving, hopefully you're not running away from something. You're running, what would the word, like considerably, thoughtfully heading towards something. So it's good to, keep one's eye on the ball, what you're doing and why. I don't want to just say, keep your eye on where you're going. Every step of the way is the way. So don't just wait for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which may or may not be there. But keep the goal in mind. Like if you're struggling with debt, and fatigue and other things, going through medical school or some other phase of your life, it's good to keep the goal in mind and the intention and the why, not just give up because it's hard today. On the other hand, living now is all we have. So if you ain't living now, you ain't living. And you're creating a habit to be not living then either, which is a big issue. So balancing, as always, the middle way, keeping the goal in mind, but also dealing with things one by one as they arise. And of course, if you can let things just arise and dissolve as they will, if you don't pour crazy glue of concepts and judgments on them, if you don't believe in your thoughts too strongly, things will arise and dissolve, come and go, appear and disappear. That's the law of the universe, the law of impermanence. But check it out, see if that isn't true for yourself. As the Buddhist mantra goes, this too shall change. That's a good way to think about things. On the other hand, there's no need to suppress or deny your feelings and emotions. They have their own emotional intelligence, they bring intelligence in from the field. So pay attention. It pays off. Questions? Good luck with your move, by the way. These are unstable, uncertain, changing times, for sure. Any other questions? How are we doing for time?
We're about out of time, Lama.
There's no time left? I read somewhere in the ancient Greeks that life is long enough for those who know how to live. I like that. This is part of the timeless wisdom traditions that we're involved with. It's like an endangered natural resource. We lose these things at our peril, these timeless wisdom traditions. So let's keep it alive and pay it forward, steward it forward to the next generations. That's what we're trying to do here. So help us share the good word. Thank you. Thank you, Ben, for engineering this, even from far off West Berlin, Germany, and all of you others at the Dzogchen Center, and all of you who have joined and gathered here and brought your spirits into this uprising, this liftoff. I was having a 1-minute meditation with my 7-year-old grandniece and 11-year-old grandnephew this morning in my bedroom after they woke me up, and we were trying to have a 1-minute meditation, and then I had them chant Om just to do something instead of trying to sit there silently in full lotus, which you're good at, but it's secondary. So we were chanting Om, and then she started to laugh. I said, "What's up, Parker?" We call her Sparky. And she said, "I feel like I'm flying." from the mouths of Bay F children. Joy, the buoyance of meditation, of the inner spirit, not the chore and penance of calcified religion. Thank you all. Love. Happy trails.
Thank you so much, dear Lama. And just as a reminder, everyone, we do have our one-day live virtual retreat on Saturday, June 5th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., as well as our summer retreat, July 23rd to 25th. So thank you so much, Lama. Again, thank you, everyone. See you next time.